and then he says, "That's a red one." Oh, he swallowed one.
Can't wait for the new mate.
I was choking on my ambitions.
So I see what you did there.
Yeah.
That was actually quite clever. It's too
was
clever
doing
for
my
this
best.
show.
Too clever by far.
It's too clever for this show.
I was really trying.
That's a 1 milk 2 sugars level of pun, and we're not allowed that here.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll retract my dad energy.
Never,
Is that what you call it?
never retract anything, Billy Treacy. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Big Damn Cast, Dirty News, Geeky Gossip, because there are things to talk about now, finally, I guess. And we all need a distraction before the very end. I'm joined this week, as usual, by a handsome man to my left. What's your name?
I am the Tweetful Protector.
Yes.
Damn it. I was gonna use that one.
Sorry, I'll give you time.
That's making it worse.
I am chocolate and brains somehow having the same chemicals in them. And to my right is a very special guest who's going to be really creeped out when he listens back to this in a week's time on his commute to work.
Oh. Yes, I'm Drashig 2. Let there be cabbage.
That'll do.
Yeah.
That'll do. I think that's fine. I think it's fine.
Yeah.
Billy Treacy's with us, boys and girls. Hey! Quick applause. Hey! You also have to applaud so it sounds this much. Yay! You at home applaud as well so it sounds fuller. Yay!
Oh yeah!
Alright, bit filthy. Dirty that.
I
Billy,
enjoyed it.
Welcome back to the Big Damn Cast.
Thank you.
It's nice to have you in my folds.
It's good to be here in this person's podcast app.
It's true.
That's the thing.
I'm in your phone!
Now, based on some of the news out this week, some of you might be thinking, "Oh, you've got Billy in to talk about." No, fucking no. We're not even going to mention it, except we will talk about it briefly.
We'll have to.
Because people are going to want to know your thoughts on Chunky Boys on Horses, I imagine.
Ooh, yeah.
You mention it once, you can't get away from it. You mention it twice, it becomes your entire show.
Yeah, so there you go. We're also going to exclusively reveal that FiveWhoFans is coming back.
Yeah.
Never. It's not. Someone listening then got excited and now
you know who you are.
Feels really upset. But we're here to sequel. This is a sequel podcast. This is a sequel to the 2018 Venom podcast.
Long awaited.
But be still your beating rage, oh internet twats.
Oh, sorry.
We are going to open up with a shitload of DC talk first.
Yeah, we don't want to spoil Venom 2 for you. Don't give you a chance to watch that.
The production team did that already.
Oh, God. We'll get through. We've got some emails in for this week as well, because we'll get to them before the end as well.
We've got some emails before the end.
Before we kick off proper, Billy, for those who don't know who you be, let them know in 10 words or less and in a inoffensive but funny accent of your choosing. That's one word.
I'm not going to do an accent. Oh, no, I've used up the words.
That's all we need to know.
I write, I do Lego videos, I do the Instagram. Just find me on Twitter at Billy, BILLY TREACY93, I think.
What's Well Built's address? Plugging.
It's another awkwardly spelt thing. If you just search Well Built, but Built is spelt BILLT.
So like Bill.
Yeah.
But with a T.
Yeah, my dad came up with that.
It's good.
Years ago.
It's good. It's clever, but it's also irritating for marketing reasons.
Oh, yeah, it's
as
terrible.
Demonstrated by the 30 seconds spent describing how it works.
Yeah, no, it's mostly me saying letters.
Everything everyone says is letters.
Yeah, I juggle a lot of yeah, that's true. I'm coming to terms with the fact that I'm quite possibly have elements of ADHD where like I'm fully 100% focused on any particular project at any one time, but not necessarily enough to see it through to the end. It's a realisation I should have come to many years ago. But yeah, Aimless Wanderings as well. Check that out.
It's good. It's got people in it.
Yeah.
Matt plays a giant slug.
I did that.
That's the project that I'm currently very committed to at the moment, and you'll be experiencing that soon.
We're hearing from my lawyer as well.
You will, yes.
From my lawyer.
Well, since we've got you here, and obviously you're a known fan and experimenting creative within the worlds of Doctor Who, so naturally, while we've got you here, people listening who are aware of your stuff, it only makes sense for us to start with DC FanDome from Saturday. Did either of you watch the DC FanDome event?
Did I, balls?
Did you? Did you?
Yeah,
balls?
but I didn't watch the thing.
You're a balls. Oh, okay, that's perfectly fair. Billy, you're a passionate DC fan.
Yeah.
You want to restore the Snyderverse.
Yeah, no, I was commenting that a lot, but they didn't acknowledge it for some reason.
Weird in a way.
Did you try and get like my opinion didn't matter?
Did you try and get their attention by abusing racially any non-white presenters?
Yeah, everything, every trick in the book.
What about using all those strawman accounts that you've made on the side?
Yeah, no, Twitter's kind of burnt a hole in my phone now because of that, but it was arguably worth it because I got Superman in black and white.
He was 4x3. It's a vision.
Sorry, black and grey.
Ah, yes. So Justice is Grey.
Justice is grey.
Edition.
Justice is square.
Justice should be watched on an older television.
Justice should be naked.
So yeah, I did tune in very briefly because I was like, is it kind of? I was hoping I'd like just tune in and the Batman trailer would be there because that's all I'm there for. Yeah, I tuned in to be like, oh, what's this going to be like? Because they had the stream on the YouTube, didn't they?
Yeah, YouTubes and Twitch and all that
stuff. So I was sitting there with my partner. We put it on and they showed like some clips from Legends of Tomorrow.
Oh, you arrived during the CW stuff.
Yeah. And then there was like some concept art for the Batman car show for juniors.
Oh God, what's it called? I can't remember now. I know which one you mean. It's like CGI
Batwheels.
Batwheels, that's
Is it actually called Batwheels?
Batwheels. It's a Batman show for preschool kids where all the characters are vehicles.
It's cars, but Batman.
Yes.
It's cargo.
That's absolutely. I mean, that's how my partner
It's Batman.
described it.
Let there be cars.
And you know, like, I'm sure there were loads of people at the FanDome who did want to see that, but it wasn't really.
Not based on the live chat.
No.
No,
probably
not.
The live chat was full of people that didn't quite grasp the concept that trailer for the Batman's probably going to be at the very end, so why don't you just go to bed and in the morning check YouTube?
Yeah. So I kind of turned off at that point because it was a bit embarrassing for me.
They're not going to skip all of the things they've got lined up to get to that one thing that people in chat want to see. I made the mistake of watching the entire event.
Yeah, that sounds like a mistake.
I was doing other stuff. It was sort of like a little on in the background kind of jobby.
I mean, you could have made a bigger mistake and made the entire broadcast.
That's true. Oh, God. Is it Tiffany Smith who's like their regular go-to for presenting stuff?
I don't know.
She should have been the sole presenter for it, because when she presented it, it was like, this is kind of smooth, it's kind of slick. She's got that style.
Well,
she knows how to
she's a professional.
deliver.
You'd expect that, wouldn't you?
But then all the other presenters, like they sort of did a thing where they got presenters from around the world, and like. Obviously, for a fan around the world from the country that this presenter appears from, that's kind of significant. It's cool to be like, oh my God, they're part of this event too.
So they got presenters from around the world and then got all the other countries to give them points depending on how...
No. People unfathomably still like America, so there's no nil point.
Cool.
But what was weird was everyone, it was all written very much for like an American delivery, if that makes any sense. You know, certain jokes and
like FedEx.
You know, like certain humour doesn't quite translate because it's just
I know what that's like.
Sensibilities are a little different around the world. So
is that what was going on with Ezra Miller?
Oh God,
there was a lot going on with Ezra Miller.
That was
an outfit.
I'll
tell you what, boy.
So every other joke kind of felt a bit like, oh, I can feel my arsehole like imploding. This is just a little cringeworthy, and it's not the fault of the presenters. It's just like. Play to your strengths and keep it nice and simple. It didn't need to be 4 hour event. It could be 2
some
hours.
people pay good money to have their assholes imploded.
I think everyone did a great job, but the writing didn't cater to the individual talents of the event. And it was weird to keep going, to set it in the same CGI location, but keep using different presenters every 20 minutes was a bit sort of like, oh, okay, this is weird. Especially because like everyone will have recorded their stuff 5 weeks ago in a green screen studio, and you could have just knocked it all out. But anyway, stuff that I'm not fussed about, that I'm not even barely going to touch on to both of you.
Yeah.
The CW shows, they continue.
Don't care.
Supergirl's finishing. They got the cast together to sort of do like a bit of a roundtable chat about like, oh, it's coming to an end. What an adventure! And they all seem like nice people.
Yeah, I had some good times with Supergirl.
The Flash is getting yellow boots.
It sounds like you're talking about a previous relationship. We had good times, but it was a mutual separation.
Yeah, we just grew apart.
She wanted to fly to space.
Yeah.
I wanted to go to Denny's. It just,
Yeah.
our paths deviated.
Oh, now you're describing Elon Musk's relationship.
Oh god. So, like, that was fine. The Flash is getting some yellow boots. Good for you.
that is ridiculous how much of a fuss they're making about his yellow boots.
Legends of Tomorrow's hit the 100th episode mark. Good on him.
I mean, let's talk about an uphill struggle. Like, you thought that show was going to last 100 episodes, but hey, I guess they really like it.
No news on the GCPD HBO Max series, but we did get some news about from the directors and writers and stars of the Blue Beetle film, which is in early production, which looks great. It is Jaime Reyes. It is a costume that looks like the current comic book one.
Yep.
It's like, that's cool.
Yep.
I'm excited to see this.
Could be good.
And
Could be
the
good.
HBO Max Batgirl film. Our lead star, her name's escaping me right now, but she's the lady who's just come out of In the Heights, and like everyone thought she was great, and she's now playing a superhero. She's Batgirl, the scriptwriter. She was there, and she had a lot to say about how excited she is, and the directors had a lot to say about how excited they are, but no one could say anything about plot details. But they did confirm one thing:
They're all excited.
it will feature Batman. Batman will be in it.
Of course it will.
But the way they worded it was, he's the real Batman.
What?
Right, so it's like, is this DC EU, or are they just going, ours is the only one that matters to us because this is the story we're telling?
Which
or...
real Batman?
No,
Exactly.
it's the actual real life Batman. You know, the one that definitely exists in Gotham City, over in the States, over the bay from Metropolis.
Jason Momoa, Patrick Wilson, James Wan, a few others presented a featurette about behind the scenes of Aquaman 2, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom.
That's a film that's getting made.
Which is getting made, but Amber Heard's in it, so never mind. And it's almost like they knew that, because in the featurette you see her briefly through a porthole at the end of a long shot of a set.
That's where she's been.
And that's all you see. But every other principal cast member gets interviewed. She does not.
They have to keep her away from the rest of the cast at all times. It's not COVID protocol, it's a Heard protocol.
God. It was the first look at Gwendolyn Christie and Lucifer. Go look at
Looks
the
like
poster.
looks like Gwendolyn Christie with a cool haircut.
Batwheels is happening.
Batwheels.
There's a 3-part animated Aquaman sort of animated mini-series event.
I just want to quickly say, I don't really dislike Batwheels. I just want to say that because I feel like I was a bit too hard on it earlier.
How dare you?
It just really wasn't for me. All right.
Wait, is the Aquaman thing a Batwheels thing?
No,
Oh,
but
because-
it looks like Pendleton Ward got high.
Okay,
and,
cool.
And redid Adventure Time, but with Aquaman in it.
I like that.
And there was a song about like singing to fish, and it looked
Excellent.
really funny. And of course, the chat hated it because it wasn't the Batman
Is
trailer.
Aquaman going to be in Batwheels? Because I'd love to see what kind of vehicle.
Oh, he'll be a boat or a submarine.
But then he can come onto land.
Submarine.
What if he's one of
Bitch.
them amphibious vehicles?
Well, like Elon Musk. That doesn't make sense. Trial of the Amazons is the first big Wonder Woman crossover event. It's kicking off in the comics next year. It's part of the 80th anniversary celebrations of Wonder Woman. If you get a chance, do watch the panel for Wonder Woman between Patty Jenkins and Linda Carter, because Gal Gadot was meant to be there, but she's busy, so she couldn't spend 10 minutes on Zoom, apparently.
Yeah,
But
well,
also,
Israel too.
Patty Jenkins
oh no.
Patty Jenkins very casually just reveals that Wonder Woman 3 is in production now.
I can see why that might have been your question after Wonder Woman 1984.
Yeah.
That was a disappointment.
And Linda Carter needs different medication.
Oh, really?
She just rambles in this featurette. You know how when you read a Trump transcript and hearing it's one thing, but reading it makes you realise that no coherent thoughts have sort of gone through her head before the words have left her mouth.
I mean, didn't she lose her husband fairly recently?
Yeah, Chris.
Way to bring it down. Like, I'm just talking about the fact that
Just saying.
she rambles in such a way that I look at it and I feel bad for the editor of the featurette, because there was clearly no way to package it that felt actually
When
inspirational
Linda Carter wants
or
to come and do a
coherent.
feature, just let her speak.
But I think she's in the third film.
Yeah, probably.
And now I'm like, is she going to be okay doing this?
Yeah, she was in Supergirl for a little bit.
Massive respect to Linda Carter, but it just was like... Lucy and I were sat there watching this going, the fuck is she saying?
Look, I didn't see Linda Carter, but, like... I mean, I've saw Ezra Miller, and...
We'll get to him. Bruce Timm, Matt Reeves, and J.J. Abrams revealed their new animated series, Batman Caped Crusader.
Cool. Is that going to finish at any point? Or is J.J. Abrams just going to fuck it up again?
Well, here's the thing. We are steadily learning through all the DC animated original movies that maybe Bruce Timm wasn't the genius behind Batman the Animated Series. Maybe he was one of the things that made it good.
He was just...
But on his own, not so much. So adding J.J. Abrams on top of that is not giving me any confidence with this new Batman animated show, which the only thing they give us a look at is the poster. It looks like the old school, 30s wider cowl.
Yeah.
They're setting it in a more kind of mob-heavy villain thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the facial, design of the character is just... That's the animated series. The feature was just full of looks at the animated series. Nice. They're trying to get us to go, you like that? You'll like it? But then I'm like, I've seen DC animated originals in recent years and they're not good.
That's the thing with Bruce Timm. You will get quality work out of him, but only if you let him draw petite women with really pointy boobs.
They do have real pointy boobs.
As long as he's doing that, he's happy.
Does that include, men with massive shoulders?
Oh, yeah. All these men are triangles. Very tall isosceles.
And if you get a ponytail on Nightwing, do it.
Yeah.
I always feel so inadequate. looking at how broad-shouldered these men are.
Young Justice Phantoms gets its trailer and it looks good, like Young Justice has been. It looks like an interesting show.
Oh, Affleck was a bomb in Phantoms, yo.
Titans confirms a third and fourth series.
Fourth series for both Titans and
Doom Patrol, which, to be fair, was the most fun trailer of the night, and it was just Series 3 is nearly over. By the way, you can stream the first 3 series online, and it's like, yay, this looks fun.
Doom Patrol.
You. Oh, who's Cyborg? Jovian Wade just very openly goes booyah in the behind the scenes footage as himself, and you go, see? He's not offended by being given a catchphrase people associate with the character.
Booyah!
That's not to undercut Ray Fisher's experiences on Justice League, but that whole thing of, I'm not saying booyah, I was like, what?
Why not?
Why?
Why not, Ray?
Deliver it however you like. Deliver it sarcastically, stoically. It's
Ray.
The problem is Joss Whedon, not a catchphrase.
Asks you to say booyah.
Oh God.
You say yes.
But we stand with Ray Fisher.
We do.
But we also say that if you're going to do accountability is more important than entertainment, why is Amber Heard and Jared Leto in your productions? The point is...
Oh!
Speaking of, let's get to the fucking John Lennon in the room.
No!
The Flash, a.k.a. we're all excited to see Keaton's Batman again, and that's all the focus is on.
Yeah, it just smacks of this character. We don't believe that this character can stand on his own in a film.
So we're doing Flashpoint so we can use a Batman.
We're adding an extra Flash, and even then that wasn't enough.
And Supergirl, who gets no spotlight in the trailer. The DCEU Supergirl debuts in this movie.
2 Flashes, a Supergirl, and 2 Batmen does not a team make.
Yeah. No sign of Affleck, but we've seen that he's been shooting.
Well, we know he's in it, yeah.
Yeah.
But, before you get into that, though, the clip of Ezra Miller beforehand, I keep going back to it because we watched it just before we started recording.
Silk t-shirt, silken t-shirt, all velvety in that. A giant denim jacket.
Sleeveless, no less.
Sleeveless. And pretty bold of him to wear a choker.
A leather choker with giant rings, and it looks like a gimp neck collar.
Yeah,
probably is.
This ain't me fashion shaming. It's just when I hear the words Ezra Miller and choker in the same sentence, I suddenly remember why I don't like him.
And also, the most important thing about The Flash coming next year is that you'll be seeing him in the cinemas.
Oh yeah, he makes that really clear.
I'm
so
not gonna yuck anyone's dress sense, but it was his kind of behaviour.
It was the attitude in the clip,
attitude of it. I've never seen anyone who less wants to sell a movie than Ezra Miller in that clip there. I don't know whether he'd just done a day of shooting or something.
To be fair, they have been trying to get this made for 6 years.
He's been involved in every iteration of it as the star, and for the last 3 iterations as the co-writer.
It was just look, we've been filming this thing, it's still getting made.
We don't have enough footage for a teaser, so here's a teaser.
We don't have enough trailer. We don't have enough movie for a trailer. We don't have enough footage for a teaser, so have this, I guess. and then like he probably just sort of walks off.
Yeah, just like
They probably cut that bit before he just sort of walked
chokes
off
someone else
back into the shadows.
Reasons to be remotely excited about this. Andy Muschietti's co-written and is directing it, and I really liked his adaptations of it. So, yay! I like the idea of a horror. It.
What?
It Chapter 2.
Oh right.
He was right. And I
What
really.
Chapter 2?
Oh my god! And who's on stage? And I
No,
I like horror directors getting to work on these superhero properties because it worked great for David F. Sandberg for Shazam, Scott Derrickson for Doctor Strange. So I'm like, yes, good, but you're also heavily reliant on us giving all the shits about Keaton's Batman being in it. My favourite cinema Batman, my favourite movie Batman. I love him. He's great.
My favourite.
I shouldn't be giving a shit about just him for the first ever movie about the Flash.
It needs to.
It's really weird.
It needs to be a separate movie. They need to just do
feels like
a
the
film
third
about
film.
an old Keaton Batman, except for the fact that they've done retired Batman for the last like 7 Batman movies. So it's like, do we need to see that at this point?
Hey, if you, by the way, Ezra Miller still hasn't apologised for choking that fan. If you really want to, I just have to
Should be opening every podcast with that.
If you really want to dwell on them using a concept and beating it into the ground, Evil Superman shows up in the trailer for Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, which relies super heavily on tickling your nostalgia buttons for another Batman thing by opening with the same shots from Batman Arkham Asylum, but with cop cars, and no gameplay means I'm not interested yet. Like I need to see gameplay to give a shit.
I appreciate that Rocksteady have been working on this for so long, but I don't care. I don't care.
Do you think he cares?
It's just.
I don't think he cares.
Like, who wants this?
Can't be sure.
Who is this for?
Like Harley. It's set in the Arkhamverse. Penguin's Penguin, but now he's got DeVito hair for some reason. And Harley looks like Margot Robbie now instead of Harley from the games. And Deadshot's been recast, which if it's just a reflection of the voice actor, fair enough. Like, good call. Why not? But King Shark looks like Drax and talks like Drax and not like King Shark.
Like Drax,
Boomerang's
like
the new
Drax.
52 style, so he's got speedster powers. Apparently that's in the gameplay. The only intriguing thing in this really is, boss fights against the Justice League could be inventive with you being like absolutely on as the underdogs in those fights. That could be interesting. But like Matt said, it's just Evil Superman again.
Oh, also with Evil Flash and Evil Green Lantern and
Evil
presumably Evil Wonder Woman.
And the corpse of Batman.
Yeah.
Speaking of the corpse of Batman, Gotham Knights trailer, full story trailer debuts. I am excited more for this one, and I think it's just because it's
this is more about you.
It's vibrant. No, but like it's vibrant. It's focusing on Robin, Nightwing, Red Hood, and Batgirl as the main characters, which doesn't happen often in video games. So it's nice to like have that different perspective.
It's got a purple Batgirl
in the New 52,
Batgirl, as I like to say.
Batgirl. Fucking hell. Court of Owls look nice and creepy. Penguin just looks like a shorter version of Colin Farrell's from the trailer we'll talk about. Like, sure. But out of the two, that's the one I'm more interested in because I'm intrigued to see what an RPG with these characters is going to be like.
It's going to be like that.
Very true. Catwoman Hunted trailer was DC animated original. What do you fucking expect?
Yeah. Superman's motto was changed.
Yes, which I like.
Truth,
justice, and a better tomorrow.
Which was it something before?
Truth, justice, and the American way.
Oh no!
So you know exactly who's annoyed by this.
That has certain connotations.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
all the patriots are too embarrassed to admit that or admit that they might be at fault. So they're annoyed about it.
It only became Truth, Justice, and the American Way in the World War II era radio show.
Yeah. Fights for truth, justice, and the American way.
And then it was changed back to Truth and Justice. And then, in the 50s, at the height of the Cold War, they changed it back to Truth, Justice, and the American way.
Yeah, and, they've left Afghanistan now, so they can't... Yeah. You need a wartime motto. It's the kind of the patriotism, and that's why one of the reasons I feel Americans are very patriotic, generally, is because, and I'm generalising nicely here.
It's the same sort of people that get annoyed when they realise he's an immigrant and deny it, and the same people getting annoyed that he's not fighting for the American way anymore.
It's kind of exacerbated by that kind of wartime mentality.
Yeah.
when you're having fights with people. Let's talk about pop culture again. Sorry.
Yeah,
That's fine as well. Milestone Comics and their heroes, including Static Shock, are getting brand new series and an animated movie. There's also a live action one in the planning stages.
Shocking.
Awesome. Kind of telling that 30 years after the Milestone line originally launched, we're still having to go, and we want to give a voice to black creators because there isn't one in the industry. Because we did it 30 years ago and then stopped pushing for it. So we're doing it again. On the upside, creators who were involved in that original push are, like, spearheading this one.
Yes.
So, good. Like, fucking good.
Good.
Peacemaker, that looks good.
It
HBO
does look
Max
good.
series, spin-off from The Suicide Squad.
I love John Cena.
John Cena being very John Cena, i.e., like, Dwayne Johnson for people who like improv, basically.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He's
Yeah.
charismatic, he can do the action, and he's a good improv comedian. And it's like, good. This is fun.
He is very charismatic.
James Gunn's directed a chunk of the episodes and written the whole series.
Yep.
He wrote it in the first lockdown last year out of boredom, which I find hilarious. He just wrote it and then went to HBO Max and went, I've got an idea for a Peacemaker show. Here's all 6 scripts. And they went, how much? He was like, budget probably about this big. They went, go make it.
God, I wish I was that productive in a lockdown.
It's insane, isn't it? It's insane. So it looks really fun. The little eagle, who's called Eagly, by the way. It's called Eagly.
Is that Eagle in the Suicide Squad? Because I've not seen it.
It's
so.
not.
I'm eagerly awaiting Eagly.
Ah, very good. Very good. No, but there is an adorable rat called Sebastian in the Suicide Squad.
Oh, yes.
Sebastian!
Yes!
Sebastian the rat.
Excellent.
You should see the Suicide Squad when you get a chance.
It is.
Okay.
It's the best DCEU movie.
Yeah,
it's
hands
the best
down.
DCEU.
Yeah,
It's like that, then Wonder Woman. If you forget that there's a sequel, and then
No, that, then Shazam.
then Shazam. Oh, Shazam, then Wonder Woman, then Birds of Prey.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so-
and that's it. That's
Birds of
all
Prey,
you
yeah.
need to watch.
I didn't.
And they're in full colour and in full widescreen. They're not in a little box in black and white.
There's no Suicide is Grey edition.
But then I can't, like, then I have to like bulge my eyes like a lizard in order to see the whole screen. That's what the Snyderverse is
No,
all
you need
about.
to sit further back, Billy.
Oh yeah.
Stop going up to the TV. Your nose doesn't have to touch the TV screen.
Explains all those neck cramps. Yeah, no, I have not seen the Suicide Squad because it was like down back at the sort of time when cinemas were opening up again, and I didn't really want to pay extra to watch it on the TV, and I wasn't really ready to go to the cinema until Venom 2 came out.
Yeah, well, we'll get there. Hopefully sometime this year.
It's out on home media like in the next couple of weeks, so I hard recommend.
Okay.
Hard recommend. Shazam! Fury of the Gods showed us a little sneak peek behind the scenes.
And Black
featurette.
Adam.
There's a segue coming.
Get
It's
to
fine. We'll
quicker.
fix it. We'll fix it in post. There's a behind the scenes
There's a
featurette,
segue
Shazam!
quicker.
Fury of the Gods, presented by Asher Angel and Zachary Levi. And it looks really fun. They've obviously upped the budget. There's a bit more visual effects. They're going up against like Greek mythological monsters. There's like cyclopses and krakens and God knows what in it. And Helen Mirren's the villain.
Cool.
It's a great sentence.
Don't care.
And then, like, what?
Get on with it!
Shazam's the second best one. Don't care.
I want to talk about Venom!
Black Adam happened. Dwayne Johnson presented a first look at Black Adam. It feels like this movie's been in production for 10 fucking years.
Almost as long as The Flash.
Yeah. Except I like the lead of this movie. He's charismatic. There's a little brief featurette where we talked to Pierce Brosnan and other stars who were playing characters like Dr. Fate and
It's
whatnot.
unlike anything I've ever seen before.
Because that's the thing too. Like, the film is apparently set over different time periods.
Yeah.
One of which would be the early 1900s with the Justice Society.
Oh.
So that's why you've got these other superheroes from like the classic era of DC. They're
We're
going to
getting
be
Aquaman. We're
probably.
getting Atom Smasher.
Probably. You're
getting
definitely getting Dr. Fate because Pierce Brosnan's
Dr.
playing
Fate.
him.
I'm Dr. Fate.
I'm going to wear a bell on my head. So yeah.
So who's Black Adam then? Is he just like
He's a villain.
is
He's
he-
Shazam's
he's-
greatest villain.
So he's naughty Shazam.
Yeah,
Is-
basically.
Naughty's an understatement.
I think that film should be rebranded.
But he's
as
like
Naughty
he's
Shazam.
like the regent of a fictional, sometimes African, sometimes Asian nation. It's like on the border.
I think
between...
they're sort of settling on Egyptian now
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
And it's
seems to me
not-
it's on the border between like East Africa and Western Asia.
He was like one of the first ones to be imbued by the power of the Rock of Ages and everything.
Cool.
And then went and murdered a shitload of people with it. So he was like entombed by the wizard Shazam and all of his mates.
Is he like a reverse in that? Like maybe is he like an old man who then says Black Adam?
No, he
and then
sort
he
of
becomes Black Adam.
Actually, I think. Isn't he an older guy and he transforms into this younger being?
Maybe, I don't know.
It depends. The thing is with DC, they reboot their shit so often, I don't know which version they're going to go with. But basically he's evil Shazam, and a post-credit scene for one of the two movies I've just mentioned will inevitably set up the fourth film in that mini-series, and those two will be a thing. And I'm fine with that, because I want to watch super serious, taking it way too seriously, Dwayne Johnson fight Zachary Levi in a muscle suit goofing around. I'm happy to see that.
I like The Rock. I saw him in The Scorpion King. I'll see him in this.
No! Finally, The Twatman. Someone else described this trailer. Because my description of it is whelming.
What I'd say is, like, if there was any doubt that I was bisexual before this trailer, it was immediately erased.
By Rob Battenbat.
Mr. Batman.
Mr. Batman! Mr. Batman was my father, who's dead!
I didn't realise that the internet's adopted Rob Battenbat as the nickname, and not Robert Pattinson or Arbats, which seems like a given. Rob Battenbat. And at one point in the trailer, he uses a fucking bat.
Yeah.
He's hitting dudes with a bat. They know.
Yeah.
So you guys got a kick from this trailer then. You guys like the look of it.
He was actually a baseball-themed hero originally. He was the Batman.
Do you think a baseball and then the bat flew through his window as a child and that
Yes,
scared
father,
him?
I shall become a baseball.
When I was a child, I used to dream of being at baseball.
No, it just looks like self-destructive prick Batman being self-destructive eyeliner wearing prick, and I am here for it.
Mm-hmm.
I think Colin Farrell looks like he's having a hell of a time. It's weird that they're not
under
showing
all
us
those prosthetics.
Yes, it's weird that they're not showing us Paul Dano's face.
Yeah, well, we saw it, but just in green leather.
Yeah, exactly. Because it doesn't show you his face. They make a point of cutting away from his face as the thing lifts, as the barrier lifts. So maybe he isn't the Riddler. Maybe he's the Joker.
No.
He's the Riddler. They're prick teasing us. It's you know.
Maybe he's just got a question mark scar down his face.
Oh God, could you imagine if they're gonna go that far? Fuck.
Maybe he's got it in his forehead.
Because what we need is more like people who have deformities are villains. Narratives.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, it makes you evil, doesn't it?
Oh God.
When your body's crooked.
I have reservations now. The teaser trailer from last year I adored. I love it. I've got reservations now. I'm like I'm so bored of completely grounded Batman concepts, and this trailer kind of confirms that they're going for that Nolan-esque
I don't know.
realism
I think we might
vibe.
get a bit weird.
They're definitely
get a bit weird.
They're definitely leaning into being more character led and the further extremes of vengeance and revenge.
Yeah.
Like the bat signal is a symbol of hope. You see the bat signal in the sky, you know that the streets are going to be safe tonight. And in this trailer, they make a big point of saying it's not like it's whatever. It's a warning. You're like, it isn't. It's not what it's for.
This is like zero year Batman, isn't it?
It's second year. He's 2 years in, and he's
you corpse paint wearing motherfucker's gonna get tasered.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. I think Zoe Kravitz looks fucking phenomenal as Selena Kyle.
Oh right. So
yeah.
I thought it just in general.
In the panel before the trailer went during the FanDome event, she's like asleep throughout the whole panel.
Brilliant.
Like every time someone else, Matt Reeves or Robert Pattinson's talking, she's just sort of closing her eyes and looking down. And every time I was distracted looking at her, going, "Why did the editor just use a two-shot of the other two?"
You wait until we start talking about Venom 2.
Sleepy Zoe.
Oh, God. So you've got that side of it all. Then on top of that, we had the revelation as well that Robert Pattinson apparently did his final screen test in a bat suit, but the bat suit they had to hand at Warner's in LA was Kilmer's bat suit.
Oh yeah, that's definitely the only one they had, was the one with the nipples.
Did you organise the screen test? Like, this Batman is absolutely going to push all my buttons, but just to be sure,
There's still time.
give him nips.
to digitally add the nipples. They can do it for Harley Quinn. They can do it for Robert Pattinson.
The screen test will be an extra feature on the DVD.
Yeah.
It'll be an Easter egg.
I was trying to figure out what about his design really is wigging me out. Like something fell off, and I figured it out.
Good.
It's the jaw. It's the jaw. He's the first Batman since West to not have like the cheek and the jaw covered up.
Yeah, good.
No, but
His face.
God, he thinks I'm complaining. I was just saying it's weird.
Well,
it
to be
took me
fair,
as weird.
half the time you open your mouth, you are complaining.
Just you fucking wait, boys.
Exactly.
We're nearly there. So that's DC FanDome. All in all, not worth 4 hours of your time, and there should have been way more focus on the comic books.
So I'm sorry
that's
we took
the shit
4 hours to explain it.
That's the shit that's dying. So focus on the comic books. Comic books.
And also, if you go on Matt Reeves' Twitter, he's posted a link to the Batman trailer on Vimeo, and you can watch it in 4K. You're welcome.
Tasty.
Very
Speaking of tasty,
I don't have any 4K capable devices.
Oh.
Or eyes.
No, me neither, but it's better than YouTube compression.
My eyes are only 1080p compatible.
in other news, Doctor Who's bizarre social media blackout saga concluded with the reveal of the series name being Flux. We have since had a freaking trailer and a bunch of stills featuring monsters and creature effects from the show.
Do we have to talk about this fucking show? Can we not just watch it
Yeah,
and see if it's any good?
Yeah, because the trailer looked nice. That's all you need. The trailer looked nice. It looked
it
nice.
did look
It
nice,
looks
to be
interesting.
fair. It did
We
look
still
nice.
don't really have any idea what it's about, but it's 2 weeks
about-
away, so fine.
What's it
Whatever,
about,
I'll tune
Billy?
in.
Swarm.
You're the resident experts. What's this? Right, genuinely, what's the swarm thing? I've completely missed that.
Sontarans.
No, what does it come
Weeping
from?
Angels.
Where's it
ass. Rectum. My butt.
Where did swarm come from? Everyone's been talking about swarm.
Chris Chibnall used it in an interview. He was like, describe Series 13 in one word, and I think he said swarm.
Yeah, but that was before they changed the subtitle to Flux.
No, what he meant was shawarma.
Shawarma.
He was just really hungry and wanted to go and get some
I ate
food.
bad shawarma once and it gave me the Flux.
Oh, good lord.
Yeah. The
Okay,
Flux.
so people have taken it as an acronym for all the monsters that are
I
going to
have
show
no
up.
idea. I kind of feel like it's a bit of a dumb idea, but it's a dumb show, isn't it? So, like,
So where does the Ood fit into swarm?
Wherever it wants.
Swarm!
Swarmo.
Swarmo.
Ooh,
I don't know. I
swarm.
think that's just a silly fan theory doing the rounds.
Wait, there's plenty of those.
Yeah.
to be
Yeah,
fair.
yeah, it's not like we have that often.
Yeah, the series artwork looks nice.
Yeah.
The trailer looks good. There's some cool stuff. I just like the fact there's bright colours in it,
Yeah.
to be honest. Like, it's,
Distracted by the flashing
I'm
lights.
distracted
right?
by there's not as many washed out shots in the trailer, and I'm hoping that's indicative of what we're going to get, because like I like it when it's bright and colourful and remembers it's a fucking kids show that should be entertaining and visually gripping. You know?
Yeah, it's nice when it does that. I thought visually it was very, very impressive. My main thought watching it was like, oh, I can't wait to have this, but like with Russell writing it. I don't want to be that guy that's like, oh, the Doctor Who needs good writing, but like I just really miss having characters that I can fully buy into.
Well,
because that's the only thing lacking for me in
Chibbers
era.
Chibbers has got 9 episodes to absolutely knock it out of the park and make us go, do you know what? Wasn't a fan of the first 2 series, but that last series and the specials were really good. So maybe he'll surprise us. Your faces say that you agree that that's a possibility.
I hope
except
so.
They really don't say that.
Yeah, he can. Chris Chibnall can turn me.
Like Robert Pattinson.
not quite the same way.
then again, Chibnall scrubs up well. Did you see the pictures from the rap party?
No.
Or of him as the Kablam
As
Man.
the Kablam Man! He's dressed as the Kablam Man. Jodie dressed as Miles Morales
she
from
did.
Into the Spider-Verse.
Good last, Jodie.
And Mandip Gill dressed as that Kim Kardashian Met Gala outfit where she was like in basically a onesie with a ponytail coming out the top. It's like good. It looks like they had fun at the rap party. And also Jodie's rapped. She has filmed her last scenes in the role, and the internet, of course, has immediately taken that as, oh, so she filmed a regeneration scene on the last day. It's like, no, that's not how filming works, people. She probably filmed it 4 weeks ago, for Christ's
Yeah, and
sake.
also just to clarify, she didn't rap in a kind of Laura Kunzberg way, just not in an embarrassing way. Just the filming's finished.
Yeah, it's done. It's done.
She-
It's over. And she went on Graham Norton and wasn't able to say too much about it.
Yeah, she doesn't.
Oh, no. Shame.
She's.
Two
Where
weeks
did I
away.
hear this? Was it one of you two that said this? But she has filmed her regeneration scene, but she hasn't met the 14th Doctor, so that implies that it's a similar deal to Eccleston and Tennant.
Yeah, well, she said, it was on Graham Norton, she said that she didn't meet Peter Capaldi until, like, 4 months after she'd filmed her half of the regeneration scene when they bumped into each other. So it's not uncommon for them to be shot separately. It's not like Peter and Colin, where it's like, right, get off the floor, Peter, Colin, lie down, come on in. You know, they just...
Lie down and loosen your clothing, Colin.
Sylvester,
Right, lie down,
comes
Sylvester. Colin, get out of the UK.
Leave, Colin.
Leave.
I banish you from my kingdom, said JNT.
He swept his Hawaiian shirt cloak.
Be gone from the fiefdom of who?
The wise man who hires people because they're good at weddings. That being said, we all love Colin. We're not mocking Colin, but anyway.
Well, no,
and Ezra Miller's still not apologised for joking that fan.
We're not mocking him right now. Not in this moment.
Not in this moment. Not in this time or place.
But I reserve the right to mock Colin Baker at another point in time.
How dare you? That man has a noble brow.
I'm not saying he doesn't.
So, yeah,
Not
it looks
really.
good. Sontaran redesign. What do you think? Yeah, nay. 3, 2, 1.
Sure.
Yeah.
Looks good.
Yeah.
Weeping
like
Angels are
Sontaran.
back. What do you think?
Yeah.
Sure,
Uh,
fine. The best use of them ever is The Lonely Assassins. I played that and The Edge of Reality this week, and one was incredible and the other was The Edge of Reality.
Cool.
So that's good.
Cool.
What else, my arse?
No.
Oh,
Cybermen.
the skull-looking things look cool. The reptilian skull.
Yeah, I'm
That's
interested
nice
to see what they do
effects.
with it. I really like how his shoulders are kind of like dislocated from his body.
Yes, yeah.
I wonder if it would be really cool if they did some like cool puppetry stuff going on there.
Well, that's where the
With
budget went
his
for the
arms.
other 3 episodes that were announced.
Yeah.
Puppetry.
Cybermen are back as well. I didn't even notice them in the first viewing.
So there they are. Oh my god.
We've seen plenty of... They're getting their money's worth out of those costumes.
They're good. I like
God,
that
yeah.
design.
Of
They're
course,
the
because
first time.
we'd only seen them for like 10 minutes, haven't we?
Yeah, they're the first design that I've that feel like a different kind of an actual different show rather than like. Sorry, I'm getting distracted because this dog's licking me.
Yeah. She does that.
No, they're the first design that don't feel like it's just like the Russell T Davies Cybermen redesigned slightly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They feel much more like their own thing. It's a bit bulkier, a bit more metallic.
Don't like being electrocuted by a half man, half Cyberman.
Yeah.
What was that about?
I don't know what you're talking
Oh,
about.
he must be harsh. Like, he's got to be a bad Cyberman if he makes other Cybermen scream. With the
Oh yeah.
And he was like, why is he doing that?
Just shits and gigs, I guess.
Bad writing?
I mean...
Biting?
That CGI
Possibly.
was bad writing. At some point, we need to go into like how. I mean, like you can say stuff is bad writing when it is, but I feel like a vast amount of discourse at the moment is people saying bad writing when they don't like a show,
Yeah.
or they don't like a direction a show's gone in. It can still be good writing, like the costumes don't count as bad writing. CGI isn't bad writing.
Women isn't bad writing.
Women isn't bad writing. The Woms is not bad writing. So like, I'm trying to watch myself there, because not about women.
Yeah, you
But
don't
about
we don't want a repeat of the incident, Billy.
I try not to talk about.
The
Try not to talk too much about like writing too much because people are talking about it enough.
Yeah,
That's just where I am mentally at the moment.
that's
Well,
fair.
in a completely separate topic that has nothing to do with analysing the quality of anything.
No, hello, here we go.
Emails?
No, we can't go to emails yet. We've
Oh,
a very
shit.
important thing we've got to talk about.
What follows is a spoiler-heavy discussion of, as Billy said earlier, something that doesn't really fucking matter about spoilers, because it's...
Well, I don't know, because I think this has been the cinematic triumph of the last 3 hours. It's...
It's been the best film I've watched in the cinema for the last 2 years.
What else did you
When was
see?
the last time you went to the cinema?
2019.
There we are. Venom 2.
Let there be
more Venom.
Batwheels. Carnage. Let there be carnage.
And don't you worry, listener. That phrase does get used in the movie.
Take a shot glass and fill it with water for safety.
Take a shot glass, smash it,
eat it, and improve your experience. We gathered together with. We should take a drink for Dan and John, who are dearly departed from this room. They're not here because they're not here. So, boys, this is for you.
I haven't got any drinks.
Some liquid sound. Hang on, liquid sound.
Oh, okay.
There you go, boys. But we gathered together to watch the original Venom in 2018. Well, rather, you three took Matt and I to see Venom.
Yeah,
and
we'd
then
already
sat us
seen
down
it.
to record it.
We wanted to spread it.
Do you think that's something that you'll do with Venom? Let there be carnage.
No, I don't think so. Actually,
Is it not? Is it not worth spreading?
I mean, this is just at this point in time. I don't want to watch it again, but I have just watched it, so
That might be why.
So.
Venom, the Carnage follows Venom. Eddie's interviewing a serial killer, Cletus Cassidy, in prison. Cletus Cassidy bites him at one point, and then for some reason the symbiote has a child and it's never explained or referenced. And then Avi Arad wanks off while two blurs made of CGI bash into each other in a church. And also Reece Shearsmith is there for some reason.
So this,
and then the credits roll.
This movie's like 90 minutes long.
There will be spoilers. Heads up again.
Yes, this is the final spoiler warning for Venom: Let There Be Carnage. This movie's like 90 minutes long, and lots of stuff happens in it, but not a lot of that stuff actually relates to other stuff that's happening over the course of the movie.
Nor is it ever set up or paid off or explained. It just sort of
it's
happens.
just a series of events.
Yeah.
You want to talk about bad writing? This plot is just all over the place. Stuff just happens.
I didn't like how Carnage looked. The writing was terrible.
The writing was terrible.
You arse.
However, I will say this for it. I think the people who were making this had a fucking great time.
Oh
doing
God,
it.
yeah, that came across.
And
I had a lot.
I had a lot of fun
it.
watching it. Yeah,
I don't think it's come across yet, but I really enjoyed Venom 2. I'm not saying it was like a good film.
No, far from.
But
it's not.
It is a solid 4 out of 10 territory, but they use every bit of those 4
Oh man,
points out of
it's
10.
a lot. It is unlike the first film, a riot.
Yeah, I thought it was just a phage, but a real scream. Lasher.
How hard do I have to throw
Lasher.
How hard do I have to throw this Hulk fist stress reliever at you
Who's
to do
the other
some
one?
damage?
There's
I don't
5, isn't
fucking
there?
know.
The Life Foundation symbiotes. I don't know.
Scream?
I said Scream.
Scream, Phage.
Scream, Phage, Riot, Lasher, and...
Mr. Slime.
That'll do. That will do.
Mr.
I could turn around and pull a book off the shelf, but I'm not going to.
No.
Fuck it.
Fuck
it.
Whereas the first Venom seemed to do.
Sorry.
Right?
Yeah, just that's the noise I make when I hear about that movie.
Don't mention that name again.
Whereas when the first movie seemed to do like a lot of fun stuff by accident.
Yes.
Like it was very conflicted tonally.
Yes.
And I think they went away from the reaction to that first film, took out what people liked and pushed it 100% in that direction, which is like the only way that I think you could approach a Venom sequel. Like turn up the friendly, childlike Venom Cookie Monster character. 100%. I am
But
really,
also-
I'm behind all of the creative decisions they made with it.
It is...
Agony is the 5th symbiote. Sorry,
Okay,
there
good,
we go.
thanks.
No,
Cheers for
sorry,
that.
it had to be
The
done.
inquiring minds did want to know.
There's someone listening who's going, oh, thank fuck you
Oh,
mentioned
God.
it. Yeah.
Oh, oh, the agony has given me pleasure. So...
That's Avi Arad. Live feed to Avi Arad right now.
So this is... as Billy so rightly says,
Oh, fuck.
they have just dialed up the bonkers to 11 in this. It is so... It leans so much into the weirdness that was the best bit about the first one, I think.
Something that the script writer does brilliantly and Andy Serkis sets up brilliantly. One of the few things that they set up in the movie that then explain things going forward is early on there's a scene where Eddie Brock dives into a cubicle at the police station bathroom and Venom and he have an argument, and even though Venom is visibly floating in front of him, you then cut to the perception of a lady in the next cubicle freaking out because this bloke's just barged in and is arguing with nothing.
Yeah, she can't hear Venom.
Yeah.
Which begs the question, is Venom physically there?
Yeah.
Or is it just what he's seeing?
Yeah.
Well, these are all answers that should be made in the third one.
Yeah.
After this response.
Yeah, because, I mean, this film doesn't actually bother to explain most of what's going on.
And that's fine by me.
Yeah,
You know, Chris was saying earlier that, like, we could have had a scene that explained this and a scene that explained that. I think I'm happy with it being, like, not 1 minute longer than it currently is.
Just a stream of consciousness nonsense.
Like, would the film really have been better if they'd, like, explained things a bit more? Probably not.
I mean, it's very economical filmmaking, so economical to the point where it just cuts a lot of the actual structure that you would need for a traditional narrative.
It is 90 minutes long, it's 9 minutes long, and it barrels at a pace so they can fit as many screenings of it into one day in each screen.
Oh boy, do they!
That's why it's economical, and I think that was based on the fact Tom Hardy's not bad-mouthed any cut material on this press tour compared to the first film.
Yeah.
I think this was made deliberately to be a fast-paced... Look, Andy, what we need you to do is basically just direct a fucking theme park ride and get it out there.
This movie's so
that's
fast-paced
all
it
we
gave me
need.
fucking whiplash.
Yeah, that's all we need.
It's...
Decisions will be made along the way that make people go, wait, what? But you just then carry on and ignore them. You carry on and ignore them.
Well, unless you're you.
Unless
in
it's
which case
me.
You're going to obsess about them for the next 3
I
weeks.
can't fucking help it, man. I did not like the first one. I enjoyed the experience of watching it.
Oh, I didn't like the first
every
one,
2
but I
minutes, every
enjoyed
2
it.
minutes, you and me both went, what? And looked over to see 3 eager puppy faces smiling at us as our befuddlement grew.
I was a loser too, I did.
Oh my God, I'm just kind of a loser. Like you.
It's
I
like,
think-
this is the origin of Venom. Oh my god.
I think I spent most of this film chuckling.
Oh yeah.
Just
And
solidly chuckling.
Some unintentional laughs, but also
Yeah,
a lot
a
of
handful.
jokes that do land.
Yes.
Yeah, way more than accidental ones.
Yeah,
This is a film that I don't think this is trying to take itself particularly seriously.
yeah. I mean, I don't
It's-
know whether I'm
Fuck
being...
this guy.
Like just certain moments where like they play on the inner monologue as a point of
Yeah.
comedy. The Mrs. Chen relationship is quite funny. The shop owner.
Just as long as you don't think about it too much.
Yeah,
you
just don't
you just can't think about it.
the Venom symbiote hijacking random homeless people to go to a rave.
Again, don't think about that too much.
Yeah, we can't think about it.
They hate sound, but he stood right next to the PA system. But don't think about it too much. Don't think about it too much.
Certain kind of sonics.
Bullshit.
Certain frequencies.
Bullshit. His fire alarm goes off. He uses it at one point.
There's a certain kind of sounds and a certain kinds of things that are in chocolate and also brains.
Oh my god, the fact they try and explain that that's why he likes brains, because brains and chocolate share a certain chemical. No, don't explain it.
I'm all for that. That's fine by me.
I'm gonna get the nitpicky bullshit out of the way.
Oh, please
I'm gonna get
do.
it out of the way so we can just
Please
enjoy
do.
this nonsense.
I did. Thank you very much.
Out loud to the people.
Oh, okay,
To the people. One, when the Venom symbiote separated from Eddie, it randomly talks in his Bane voice, not the Venom voice. I don't know why. It just
That
does.
is
It's
his,
really
that is
weird.
his Venom voice.
No, because like,
Venom spends the rest of the movie talking like this.
No, it is the same voice.
No,
It's
he
just
talks
that
like
they
this.
changed the voice from the first film.
no, but Venom in the rest of the movie sounds completely different from how he does for that 2 minutes where he's talking at the club on a microphone.
I don't.
Well, suddenly he sounds like the guy out of the entry closet.
I'm going to go ahead and say.
Perhaps
fucking
he's wondering
wrong
where
about
you would
this.
shoot a man before throwing him out of Venom 2.
I did not think.
Well, that's because you are blinded by your joy, and that's
I'm
totally
doing-
fine.
I'm doing this gig for you, the people.
That's the only Bane thing I can remember.
That's what he said. 2, Tom Hardy's little finger on his right hand. Is he okay? It was distracting me.
Fucking hell. You and that little finger.
Th-
And that's not the first time I've said that sentence.
What? I never watched Game of Thrones. 3, fucking hell. 3, fuck, I've lost my train of thought. 3,
Good!
The post.
Finally!
3, the mid credits. The mid credits is utter bullshit, and we will get into it. 4, they never touch on what Carnage is. He just starts referring to Venom as Daddy at one point. So it's just there.
That's what I mean.
Hey, oi, I'm getting the nitpicks out. You're making this section last longer.
I'm agreeing with you.
Okay.
That's part of the pacing being so quick.
Yeah.
They just miss out a lot of the connective tissue that would make some of this make sense.
Yeah.
But yes, continue.
5, they set up Toxin for some reason, despite casting like Stephen Graham, who is wonderful, but will definitely not be the lead of a new franchise anytime
also,
soon.
they kind of set up Toxin, but in the most shortcutty,
Oh
handed
yeah.
way
Apparently,
possible.
Carnage has his baby symbiote, and we never see it happen.
Yeah.
And we also don't know it's a symbiote. His eyes just glow.
Yeah.
Huh?
Who knows?
Point number
Or
6.
dares to dream.
Fuck. Point number 6. They don't lean heavily enough into the romance, just the bickering. I wanted to see them be cutesy with each other a little bit more.
I don't know. I think
Wait,
we
you're
got
talking about Venom and
Venom
Eddie?
and Eddie.
I think we got a bit of that.
Like we get a bit of it at the end. Like that's
Yeah.
really genuinely sweet.
You've got to have some conflict.
But the rest of it's just domestic abuse.
it
It's
is
like
just
this
a
is
story.
weird
It
to
is
watch.
domestic abuse, yeah.
Bad point number 7. Not enough chickens. They weren't in the film long
I'd
enough.
say there's enough chicken.
In a 90-minute movie, there was not enough chickens for my liking.
I fucking love that
Quality
there
of
are-
chicken over quantity of chicken, I think, in this case.
Eddie Brock has bought 2 chickens for Venom to eat, and Venom refuses to eat them because he loves them.
And called them Sonny and Cher.
Yeah, it's like that thing. As soon as you name them, you can't kill
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
And he does kill other chickens.
Yeah, he told the
Well,
chickens
what
we
a
just named them.
protest.
He just
Reluctantly.
There's
Yeah.
a protest, and he just spit the feathers out.
Well, because they don't have brains. They don't have enough brains.
Oh, God. Point number 8. You kind of wasted Michelle again. Like, she didn't really get much to do.
You should
And
not
you
even call
also-
her Michelle.
Yeah, but she's in real life.
Yeah, I know what I
Yes.
mean. That's why you didn't even use a character name. You just went
I'm not
straight to
fussed
the
about
actress.
Annie's like, yeah, well, do you know what I mean? And also, like,
We
just-
got Femme
Stop point-
Venom though again.
again, briefly,
Just
albeit
literally
with
just-
less accentuated female features.
Yeah,
Did
actually.
you notice that?
It was,
They
Yeah.
played down
it
the
was
feminine
much less
features.
cheesecakey, yeah.
And stop making her wear wigs, for fuck's sake, in every movie she's
Why do you wear wigs?
in. When will you wear wigs?
when
Have
will
you
you
worn
wear
wigs?
Every
And my
time,
last
apparently.
nitpick, and this is the biggest nitpick, it is such a nitpick, okay, runner-up, it should have been R-rated because the bloodless kills for a creature that was that ferocious
Yeah, that was weird.
were really pointless
That
and
was
stupid.
weird.
You could get away with it in the first one a little bit because they cut around the violence a little more creatively.
I found it very weird that this was 15.
There's only one bit in this entire one where you kind of like go, oh, that's kind of gruesome, and it's when you see a corpse in an alleyway that Cletus has like taken the clothes off of,
Yeah.
and the head is clearly separated from the body,
It's still bloodless.
but it's still bloodless. My biggest nitpick is Woody Harrelson plays Carnage, Cletus Cassidy. He's clearly having fun. Right? But this is so This is so indicative of the Avi Arad mentality with these characters that he's wanted to like jerk off to since the 90s when he got the license for them with Toy Biz.
I think you're projecting a little there, Chris.
He's seen Woody Harrelson. Listen to me here. He's seen Woody Harrelson. This podcast will go on longer if you don't shut up and let me get this shit out of my system.
I am listening to you.
I will turn this car around.
Just so you know, Matt and I are both on our phones.
Yeah,
at the
yeah.
moment.
Just like
He's seen Woody Harrelson in the 90s in Natural Born Killers. He's watched that movie. He's gone, that's my Carnage. And then 30 years later has stuck to that. Despite the fact that Cletus Cassidy appears as a teenager in an opening scene in 1996, dubbed over, weirdly, by Woody Harrelson. He appears as a teenager in 1996, and then 20-ish years later is somehow the 60-plus-year-old Woody Harrelson. It's a weird decision when you could just set the Flash back in the 80s or the 70s and do it
Was
that
that
way.
David Bowie just transformed into the 80s or the 70s?
Into the 80s or the 70s. I just think that the role of Carnage should be played by a younger man.
Yeah, but at the same time, like, Tom Hardy is, like, implausibly sweaty for both films.
Oh my
so
god, when the Venom symbiote and him break up and he's still sweaty and greasy.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
like, why are you doing that? Make him look healthy and
That defies
glowing.
belief, but it, like, it doesn't, you know, I don't let
I
that
think
bother
Tom
me.
Hardy
I
just showed up to set unwashed. I think that's just like, I just want to work. I want to work. I'm Tom Hardy. This is what I do. It's all right, fine. Look at my little pinky finger. It's really weird. There's weird decisions, and I think the reason it bugs me is because I just know it's Avi Arad.
do you though? Or
Avi
are you
Arad-
projecting?
Avi Arad has been quoted as saying that his favourite movie is Natural Born Killers.
Alright. I'll give you that.
He's seen Woody Harrelson in that movie in the 90s and has stuck to his guns because Avi Arad just wants to... I'm lying about that, by the way. It's a complete fabrication. Avi Arad
Chris,
just wants to jerk off to Venom and Carnage
I-
stuff he pictured in the 90s when he bought Marvel through Toy Biz and sold lunchboxes with Venom on. See this comic cover? See this comic I picked up last week in Glastonbury? I bought it because it was the first image of Venom I ever saw that taught me how to draw Venom. It's the dumbest cover ever. It's so dumb. It's got Venom. It's for those listening at home. It's Amazing Spider-Man 347. Venom is holding the skull of Spider-Man and saying, "Alas, poor Spider-Man, I killed him well." Nitpick. You should be saying, "We killed him well." Secondly, it is the dumbest thing ever. It's so dumb, but I love it because it makes me laugh. This cover is this movie. It's dumb as fuck, and it made me laugh. But Avi Arad looked at this and thought it was high art. And that's been his mission statement ever since Toy Biz bought me.
Who are you to say otherwise?
Christopher, I think you might be. We've been talking about Avi Arad on this podcast for.
Sorry,
a
could you
long
say his name
time.
properly so I can understand you?
Sorry, we've been talking about Avi Arad on this podcast for a long time, and I think
He's mates with Amy Pascal.
Fuck
she
off.
is a naughty rascal. They
think-
don't know how to make films. Da-da. Sorry.
I think you might be a little too preoccupied with Avi Arad in the way that. That Cletus Cassidy is a little too preoccupied with Eddie Brock in the plot of Venom.
they don't
There Be
explain
Carnage.
it, and it's just like they assume that. Remember that end credit scene you watched in the last movie? Well, like that. Anyway,
Yeah, it's
here
just
we are.
Oh, Eddie
He's
Brock.
got a haircut. but-
Cletus Cassidy is sort of ambiguously weird in a way that is ill-defined and he's just strange.
They never show what his murders or his spree was.
No, because
we just know that there are bodies near a cliff somewhere.
because it's the softest 15 I think I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's a 15 in the UK, but it's a PG-13 in America, so it's really a 12A.
Yeah.
But I think because of the implied violence, they're
Yeah.
trying to stop kids going to see it over here.
Yeah, you're
But
right.
but it's all
there is a lot.
implied.
I
The Marvel stuff's more brutal than this.
there is a lot of stuff in the BBFC where they talk more about the implication of violence and the consequences of it
Yeah.
being addressed as being a big part of what decides a rating based on the violence in a film.
So I won't be surprised if just having a serial killer be a character is what's put it in the 15 certificate
I don't
bracket.
think it's that. I think it's the.
It's a superhero movie. It features a serial killer.
No, I think it's the staging of the violence, even though it's bloodless. The staging and the sort of, the sort of
There's so many
laissez-faire
missed
attitude
opportunities
to
with
its
that stuff.
consequences. No, yeah, no, absolutely, I
The
believe
tongue
you.
down the guy's throat.
I am with you. I'm with you.
It's just like, oh, that's gruesome. And we cut away.
That's the biggest disappointment to me was that they didn't go far enough with the what? No pun intended. Carnage. It's it is.
Just remember something really
Strangely, of course, it's strangely muted. Yeah, it is just weird that it's as actually bloodless as it is.
If you read Maximum Carnage in the 90s and you have vague memories of it, you'll probably really enjoy this. Because you'll be like, oh, Shriek, I remember her.
Yeah, but you'll also be the same age as Woody Harrelson.
Yeah.
I mean, he had fun.
Yeah, he had fun.
He's clearly having fun.
Woody Harrelson's having fun.
Like Samuel L. Jackson in Captain Marvel, Woody Harrelson's basically got out of his wheelchair and has walked around a bit.
He's not.
And
He's not
I'm
fucking
being
disabled.
facetious. I'm being
Big.
facetious.
He's
I'm
got a
being
stroke.
facetious. I'm being facetious.
That doesn't sound like you at all.
But it is kind of like there are these little moments where you're like, you're not a young, like virile dude who's full of superpowers. Like,
Listen, he was 58 when he filmed this.
Jesus
He
Christ.
still had 2 years of virility left before you apparently turned to decrepitude when you hit 60.
I like Woody Harrelson, and I think he's clearly
Not
having
enough,
fun in
apparently.
this. Oh my god.
Should be supporting your friend.
Yeah,
in this new
support-
movie.
Oh, because he can't walk on his own.
Support Woody
So
Harrelson.
old. Right, so he's clearly having fun. Naomi Harris is having a lot of fun as Shriek. It's weird because you sort of don't really get to spend any time with her until the third act.
You don't want to
Where
get to spend any
she-
time with anyone in this film.
Where she clearly is like, oh, I'm going to make the most of the tiny fucking
Oh,
amount of
yeah,
screen time
yeah,
and
yeah.
dialogue
Yeah.
you give me, and I'm going to play this like an absolute sort of super villainy kind of like sing-song voice and everything.
I think all the cast know exactly what kind of film they're in and they go for it.
The thing I remembered was like at the end, Venom realizes he needs sound to weaken Carnage. So he
Well,
turns,
we know exactly what you're
he
gonna say.
turns to Shriek, who's getting back up, and she's clearly pissed off at Carnage. Because what the interesting thing they do with that is they set up that the symbiote doesn't want Shriek around. It's just cooperating with
Cletus,
Cletus
yeah.
because he wants to be around Shriek. And then like it presumes that it's choked her out and then leaves her there.
Yeah.
But then she gets up, and Venom knows he needs sound, and he looks back at her, and she sort of looks at him, and you think what's going to happen is he's going to be like, do it! And whatever.
Yeah.
But no, he twats her into a bell.
That might have been the best moment of the entire
Which
film.
then
then
falls
she
and
randomly-
crushes her.
Yeah, but on the way
Well, no,
down,
he
very
doesn't.
briefly, she screams.
Oh, yeah,
So that
so-
it hits the bell, and it's like, what? It's just,
Yeah, it's
also,
amazing.
Carnage is a sort of kaiju now, I guess. He gets bigger
very
and bigger.
big. I don't know where all that biomass is coming from, but it's impressive.
Yeah, so nerd time. In the comics, the reason Cletus and Cassie never call themselves we, they're always I. And the reason he can morph his body a lot more and is a lot more malleable and can like do things like open up his insides and everything and put a gap in his torso is because he and the symbiote just fully accept each other. They completely merge. Whereas Venom and Eddie are like a cohabitation.
Yeah.
Cletus and the symbiote go, fuck it, and they just become one thing. Which is just a neat little trope in the writing, because whenever they show up, Venom is we and Carnage is I, because they're one being. In this, that happens, but they never explain it. He just can turn into pudding. Except when he can't at the end, when somehow they're separated.
Into pudding!
Yeah, pudding
Well,
man.
didn't they make a thing that they hadn't fully merged in this film?
Well, no, because
Sure,
like
there was a
several
line
times
about that.
when he turns into him, they sort of go like blah, 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 and like they pudding outwards into the Carnage.
It's during the end
his
fight.
features blob outwards and everything. So
It's during the end fight when when Eddie sees.
well, that's it. Yeah, Cletus is trying to separate himself from Carnage because Carnage is threatening Shriek. Yeah,
that's what we're like. Okay, they're not a match for each other. And they're not working together.
but also
Whereas
Carnage
we
is
are.
like seemingly an invulnerable giant monster that can't be stopped in this thing.
Yeah. Until
And every time he like bites someone's head off, he's like leveling up.
Which we learned very briefly.
Power up!
do you think that's very odd?
The oddest thing about that scene was where we all just collectively, without saying it out loud, our muscles all went, is that Reece Shearsmith?
Yeah!
And then 5 seconds later, next shot, it's Reece Shearsmith! Reece Shearsmith's a priest in the third act.
I love that because it all hit us at different times.
It's really, really weird. The priest isn't set up. It's just there's a priest. And you got they've taken a priest hostage, and they kind of look like fuck me. It is. And you know that it's just Andy Serkis has run around his mates and gone, hey, you like horror films? Do you want to be in this film for like 2 scenes and have your head bitten off?
It's kind of not really a horror film, but okay.
Yeah, but you know, sure. That was weird. The casting of Stephen Graham is good, but it sort of like doesn't really do too much interesting with him.
I am always happy
Also,
to
what's
see
with his
Stephen Graham
haircut?
in things. Well, you know,
He's sort of got like a fade, and then he's styled it to look like a bowl. It's really strange.
sometimes you just gotta do your hair like that.
The little faded bowl cut.
You gotta make sure you've got to make sure the audience can see the hearing aid, even though they never do anything with it.
Yeah. Oh god. Yeah.
So it's set up that he is.
Yeah. Here's an idea. When you fight in Shriek, take it off.
Yeah.
That might help you fight her.
Well, I think the idea is
So she shrieks, you're not going to hear it properly because your hearing's already been damaged.
I think the idea is he's only deaf in that ear.
He does
Because-
some really good deaf in that ear acting. Though.
Yeah.
Did you notice? He's just kind of like leaning forward a little bit, Columbo in it.
Could, like,
Just one more thing.
So I think it's like. So they have established that Shriek deafens him in that ear, and he shoots her. He thinks he's killed her because he shoots her and it takes her eye out, or doesn't take her eye out because her eye's still there. It blinds her in one eye, whatever.
Yeah, she gets shot in the face and he thinks she's dead.
Yeah.
And then she's not.
She
But
gets
she's
taken
taken
to
to Ravencroft, which is now on the West Coast. And
Cool. West Coast is
Yeah.
the best coast. And so...
we don't get it. I was so surprised they didn't just get their balls out and be like, this is Mendel Strom, this is
Yeah.
Dr. Kafka, and just like go, here's all these evil people from Spider-Man that have worked at Ravencroft.
It's Siegfried.
It's fucking Siegfried. Chekhov's Siegfried. I'm going to wear your face to a party, he says to the evil doctor. She's like, yeah, whatever. And then nothing happens. He's seen 5 minutes later going, there's monsters!
Yeah.
Great. Well done, Siegfried.
Well, he's still in his cell, isn't he? He doesn't get
Now, if
busted
it were
out.
an actual fucking hard R rating,
Yeah.
he would have got out and he would have started carving a face off.
Scroobius Pip wearing a woman's face. He is Scroobius Pip!
I know, it was just a fun thing to say out loud.
Yeah, it's a fun name. Fuck, what was I saying?
Stan Lee was on a magazine.
Stan Lee was on a magazine.
That was cute.
Yeah. Why
There
was
he
Scroobius
was.
Pip wearing Stan Lee's face? That could have worked.
Excelsior!
That's it for this week, everyone. Hope you've enjoyed the podcast.
We've peaked. That'll be our last episode.
Javier ran on his way.
Fade Matt out quick.
Cut his mic. Cut his mic. It's all the same mic.
Flappy's not happy. Cut the
Flappy
mic.
is not happy. Wearing Scroobius Pip's face. And so,
Hardy's having a fucking ball.
he's having the best time. This film, as it's now becoming a series, this film franchise is it's seemingly an excuse for Tom Hardy to just do whatever the fuck he wants.
Just dick around. Yeah.
And I'm not usually one for enabling, but in this case...
Keeps him off the coke, doesn't it?
Yes. It seems. I mean, I'm not saying he looks healthy, but I mean that's kind of the point of how he
He
looks in the
doesn't
film.
look healthy.
It
But I
stops him
think
doing.
he's
It
having a
stops
good
him
time.
doing. Stops him doing more Sky Mobile adverts.
He doesn't look healthy, but he has a nice
Sky
TV.
Broadband. Yeah.
But
$2,000 TV.
That gets thrown out the window.
Yeah.
the main thing though is that
But he didn't snap the chicken's neck.
No.
So.
Venom is. I suppose we should probably talk about Venom finally being
Oh.
fully 100% canon with Endgame. He exists in the same universe as Winter Soldier and.
Well, we don't
Iron
know
Man.
why yet. We can only
So,
assume that
yeah.
it's linked to shenanigans in No Way Home.
So the post-credits scene, he's on the run and he's living on a tropical island. And
Sure.
pre-credits, it sort of looks like it's a bit of a nod to, the second Venom story.
Yeah.
That bloody book,
Stop
where he
pointing
thinks
at
he's
books,
killed
Chris, I don't care.
Spider-Man, and then because that's all he and Eddie have wanted, they stay on this deserted island. They just stay there because they don't need anything else. That's all their life had become. And Spider-Man's like, as long as they think I'm dead, it don't matter. And he buggers off back to New York. And then only after Carnage is birthed from the events in that story and is unstoppable, does Spidey go back to that island and is like, hi, so, I'm alive. You didn't kill me. Also, you have a child who's killing people. Could you help me, please? And that's the thing. But then you realise, no, he's at a resort. He's, staying somewhere. And he's watching Spanish television and having a gay old time.
Well, he's back on top, so he's got all that money now.
Jesus Christ. Yeah,
'Cause he
from
did that
his
one
one Daily
article.
Bugle article.
And now he has enough to buy a fancy new bike and a fancy TV and a
So dumb.
new helmet.
So dumb,
and
but fun dumb.
Yeah.
But then he
And
sat
he's
there.
doing wheelies on his bike.
And I-
constantly doing fucking
I've-
wheelies.
I've recently read the Nick Costa and Donny Cates runs on Venom in the books. I've been loving it. It's my first ever consistent Eddie and the symbiote storyline book I've ever read. And they set up the whole thing of the Clintar. The symbiotes have a name. They're a species. They've existed all this time. And
Oh yeah,
you
no
know,
shit that no one cares about.
oh, it's great. It's great. The Grendel and all that shit.
Grendel?
It's brilliant. Anyway,
Grendel!
the point is they set up that the symbiotes are actually capable of doing a hell of a lot more. The reason why Venom's doesn't is because it's fallen for Eddie. It wants to be with him.
Oh.
And he wants to protect, so it doesn't develop. So in this storyline, they come into contact with this ancient thing from their race, and it kind of reawakens certain stuff in him. So when Eddie's dying, Venom suddenly sprouts giant fucking wings, and he flies him to safety. And it's like, oh, so it can do other stuff. So then they start to tease that in this at the end. You have this thing where they're talking, and he's like, oh yeah, the symbiotes can do loads of stuff. And then he's like, what? And he's like, seriously, you couldn't comprehend it. Our species have existed for 80,000 years, galactic whatever, it'd blow your mind. And he's like, well, try me. He's like, alright, well, I'll show you a brief sample. So he's like, okay, they're going to set up something about, the planet of the symbiotes,
Yeah,
maybe,
yeah.
or the next big threat will be something alien, something off-world.
Oh, what more bad stuff from the 90s can we bring into this franchise?
Oh, don't. The inspiration for this film that they keep citing is Maximum Carnage and the Venom saga from the 1994 animated series.
Neither of which are good!
And it makes so much sense now. But then the room starts to shake and changes to that room, but it looks different and it's a different time of day. And even the symbiote's going, I did not do this! And it's freaking out. And then on the TV, I mean, you must have noticed the moment I clocked what was on the telly
Oh,
before.
yeah.
I just was like, oh, fuck.
Yeah. And I knew we were going to be hearing about that for the next 3 months.
So the Bugle...
I heard Chris's arse implode.
The Bugle... No, that was the Five Guys repeating on me.
Oh, okay.
The Bugle network
Which one
thing
was
is
the
on.
worst?
J.K. Simmons' J. Jonah Jameson is on. It's the same report from Far From Home. It cuts to Peter Parker, for some reason unmasked, standing on an empty street, not looking remotely panicked. Which is really weird.
Just looking a bit vacant, really.
So it's I think what's happened there is they've not gone, this is going to happen. They've gone, right, what costume test footage have we got that we can use? And then they've just used that. Venom, for some reason, looks at Spider-Man on the telly and goes, that guy! And then they lick the screen?
Twink.
As though it... That's the most plausible explanation!
Yeah.
That's the most plausible explanation. They're just like, oh, he's a bit fit, isn't he? That's it. Because why else would Venom go, oh, that guy? They lick the screen, and then you get a fun little gag of the guy exiting the hotel room in that dimension, presumably the MC, fucking you. Walks out of the bathroom, is like, what are you doing in my room? And Eddie Brooks out on the floor, he's like, and that's a funny gag, but you're not thinking about that because you're thinking about everything else.
Too excited, thinking about the Battle of the Toms.
That's the thing, isn't it? Amy Pascal and Avi Arad for the longest time have wanted to get in on that MCU action.
They do want to get in that sweet MCU
The publicity rounds for Homecoming and pre-Venom, they made a big thing of saying that Venom was going to be MCU adjacent. And what they meant by that was it wasn't going to contradict anything in the MCU. So if you wanted to believe that this is going over on the West Coast, you could. And now, obviously, the Morbius is happening. The Black Cat Silver Sable project is always on, off. They still want to do a Sinister Six project. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck unless Spider-Man's there. These characters aren't interesting unless they're his mirror image.
I'm just
Why
happy.
I didn't like Joker, because, like, he doesn't work on his own.
No.
It's not
He's
right.
like a reaction to Batman.
Yeah,
isn't he?
and
I mean, like,
and also don't just remake 2 Scorsese movies and do it less good but with face paint. But yeah.
but he dances on the stairs.
Oh, but he does the dance, doesn't he?
He does the dance.
Oh, he does the dance.
I mean, like, I'm happy to know
a song on whose money goes to a paedophile, but sure.
I mean, like,
Todd Phillips was proud of that though,
Fucking
because it was edgy.
I'm happy to know that
fucking Todd Phillips.
they've ditched that ambiguity and the
thrown not
Well,
even caution of the wind. They've just thrown shit at various fans creating the wind.
Venom just officially does not exist in the same universe, or did not exist in the same universe as the MCU, which also confirms that Jared Leto doesn't exist. And
No,
I think
but
it should
on
stay
the
that
wall
way.
behind him is Sam Raimi's Tobey Maguire Spider-Man on graffiti, and it's in his trailer.
Oh yeah.
Which in itself isn't a publicity shot from any of the films. It's a publicity shot for the costume reveal of that costume in the PS4 game in 2018.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
It's really weird. It's really weird. It's like Sony don't quite know what they're doing, and they're just kind of hoping to make it work at some point. And do you know what? Ignoring all the franchise bullshit, this was 90 really fun minutes of utter nonsense.
It was.
And
It was.
And will I be buying it? No. Will I be seeing it again?
Will you be getting it for your birthday? Yes.
No.
Yes!
No.
Steelbook.
But if it pops up on streaming and I need a laugh for an hour and a half, I'd put it on again. I'd watch it and have a laugh at it.
Yeah.
If only just to see the chickens again.
Yeah. The lovely chickens.
Sonny and Cher are friends. They are
and
the
also-
best of friends.
And also, for any Jurassic fans, Venom does say awkward.
He does! He does! And in the conversation they have on the beach is basically
God.
just you and Drashig having a conversation.
Yeah. But Venom does end the story saying I love you, so...
Oh, it's very sweet. I can't wait to see the hot Venom Eddie sex scene come.
The MCU approved.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of universes colliding...
Yes!
Does that work as a segue?
Yes!
Depends what you're leading to.
Well... Dead Air's great. You got emails?
Yes.
Oh god, is it an essay?
Yes.
Oh, he's looking so sad. He looks so sad. Matt doesn't like... For those of you out there, we're more likely to read your email if it is succinct and to the point. But we're still going to make Matt read this one because he looks so scared of the length.
It's a Tom Monty email.
Which is not a sentence I've said in the last 3 hours, but definitely before today.
It's a Tom Monty special.
Tom!
Monty.
Dear Chris and Matt. I'm not doing that. It's now been a few weeks since the wonderful news of RTD's return to Doctor Who, and this has inspired me to watch some more of his previous work. I've watched all of Cucumber and Banana, which I discovered you need to watch side by side, and I really enjoyed them both, and I'm now watching Queer as Folk with plans to watch Casanova and The Second Coming afterwards. Can you choose a favourite of all of RTD's non-Doctor Who related television shows? Queer as Folk.
Sorry for headphone listeners, by the way.
I'm not. You knew what you were getting into.
Cucumber followed really closely by years and years.
It's a Sin. Can't go wrong with that. It was really good. We watched it in like a day, maybe 2 days, and it hit very hard. It's very, very good television.
I think what we're saying is RTD makes good stuff.
Yeah. No.
Rice good shit.
There's creative decisions within certain plots that I'm not always 100% on board with, but like I was saying earlier, I always 100% buy into the characters that he makes, and that's something like I can suspend my disbelief for, Woody Harrelson being too old, but like if a character like
Save me, Carnage, please.
But if a character isn't, it doesn't feel like they've had 100% of thought put into them, then I'm not going to buy into it. And I feel like Russell is so obsessed with people and how they work that that's kind of a given with any of his projects.
Do you think he sometimes takes people apart to see how they work inside?
I mean, that's between Russell and his spin men, I suppose.
That's why he's got a place in Swansea, a place in Cardiff, a place in Manchester. Because
depending on where he's living, there are mysterious disappearances.
All right, back to the important questions. What are your thoughts on Weeping Angels returning for Doctor Who Flux? I don't know why you've stylized it as Doctor Who Flux, but okay, you do you. I am absolutely gutted that the first Weeping Angels story in nearly a decade will be under Chris Chibnall as a showrunner. I hope this doesn't make it less likely we shall see one when RTD returns, because I would love to see him write for them.
Less Weeping Angels is better. This is also the first time Chibnall's done it, so I'm willing to give it a chance.
Give it a
I don't
shot.
think he's going to write them any bad dialogue, so I don't think you need to worry about that, Tom.
It's true. It's true. You can't. Don't write dialogue. Can't get it wrong. With Jodie Whittaker's time on Doctor Who wrapping this week, this implies that her regeneration scene has been filmed. Do you think this means the 14th Doctor has been cast? We've just talked about this. I'm sure.
I bet the discussions are happening.
Yeah.
But I don't think they've been cast, nor have they filmed their half of the scene, and they don't need to.
Doesn't the new Doctor usually come onto the set of the previous one as it's being filmed?
In the classic era,
do
yes.
you think this means an announcement? Is it imminent? I'm thinking soon after Doctor Who Flux, but a different spelling.
Yeah.
Has been finished airing.
Yeah, in the classic era that was common because the visual effect was having one actor in one position and then fade to the other. It's not been common practice in the modern era at all. The only time it ever happened was David into Matt. Yeah.
Which is a shame they don't do it more, because you have that lovely picture of those two together both in the same suit.
Yeah. Which is very cute. And then David had another week and a half of filming after that. Because the last stuff he shot was just some wire work for him falling through the roof of the Naismith mansion. That was some of his last stuff. Which is hilarious when you think about it. Him holding a revolver, going mugging as the wind is sweeping past him is some of the last stuff he Oh no, that was the last stuff he shot for Doctor Who, but then after that he shot Sarah Jane. So.
Yeah.
And faced jail time for it. Faced jail time for shooting Sarah Jane.
To what extent do you think the next era of the show, RTD2, has come into fruition? Do you think RTD has started writing scripts? I think he's constantly writing scripts. I just don't know if they're for Doctor Who. In terms of 14, Chris, you said you think the next Doctor needs to be another woman to establish that 13 wasn't a one-off.
Still stand by it.
And whilst I would love to see RTD's interpretation of a female Doctor...
That's enough. Sorry, Tom.
I am indifferent as to the next incarnation's genitalia. I don't think 14 being a man would rule out the possibility of another woman in future, especially with RTD at the helm, and I would rather he doesn't limit the auditioning process to one category this time, like Chibnall did. Having said that, I am quite keen to see a non-white actor take on the role. Do you have any top picks in mind? Mine would be Cyril Neri, because I was really captivated by his performance as Lance in Cucumber, and he's quite an unknown actor, and I think would be perfect for manning the TARDIS. Sure, why not?
Yeah, I will quote friend of the show, Mr. TARDIS, on his live stream from last week, where he said that you would just go for the best actor for the job with all parameters open in an ideal world. But we're not in an ideal world.
Very much
you have to steer the diversity and the change right now. You have to do that. And I still think it needs to be a female performer, because if it isn't, all the shitty people who make careers being shitty about the current era will just refer to it as the woman time. All the blind execs above the people making decisions will think of it that way too.
You can't redress the balance by making one casting decision. You have to follow through on it.
Yeah.
Why not?
I mean, if you're writing a character, you will have a gender and an ethnicity in mind, and the same goes for writing an incarnation of the Doctor.
Yeah.
So
one day it will be as open as it can be anyone, but you have to make sure that has a track record before you get to that point.
Yeah.
And right now it has been white man, 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 white woman.
Mushroom.
You need to mix it up still. You have to do that to solidify that concept going forward. Because if you don't, then it will just be the woman Doctor time. Do you remember the woman Doctor? That was a shit era, wasn't it? And it's
Firstly,
It's
it
not
wasn't
to do with
great,
the fact
but it
that
was not bad.
It's not the fact. It's got nothing to do with the fact that Jodie was casted the role. For fuck's sake, it's oh god.
As my time draws to a close, I'm sorry to hear that, Tom.
Oh god, are you okay?
I just want to tell you.
Jesus
This is
Christ!
Tom's last email.
I just want to tell you.
Last will and testament.
You
was
were
an email to
fantastic.
Big Dumcast.
And I will finish with a completely unrelated Doctor Who question. What are your thoughts on the newly regenerated Matt Smith spitting on the TARDIS console at the end of Time Part 2? Do you think this was in the script, or did Matt Smith improvise it? How did you interpret this moment, and do you think it in any way represents Moffat's feelings towards RTD as a writer? I think it was extremely disrespectful to the beautiful coral TARDIS, and I have never forgiven him, you sugar, Tom Monty!
I think Tom just wrote a FiveWhoFan sketch. I think that's an entire FiveWhoFan sketch.
I remember having this discussion 11 years ago.
Now, to be fair,
this was a thing, wasn't
Big
it?
Damn Cast was not around in 2010.
And I probably
so...
didn't even notice, because I don't care.
I think Matt Smith got some fucking polystyrene in his mouth and spat it out, and they just happened to use that shot.
Like, that makes him look very kind of visceral and chaotic and post-regeneratory.
I don't think it's a statement. I don't think it's a... Look, you talk... I know I'm the guy who's just spent the last 20 minutes hotly debating and screaming about the age of Woody Harrelson's character in a flashback in a film we just watched, and how it affects everything, and how it's all down to one exec producer and his 40-year wank obsession with Venom. But even I'm of the mind that sometimes you can read way too much into something. Matt Smith spat some out of his mouth as a set made of polystyrene blew up around him.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
And you've got one chance to shoot it from multiple cameras.
But
I mean, like, it could very well be that
I've spat pie out of my mouth on CBBC. I wasn't saying "fuck you" to Gordon the Gopher. Like, I just spat stuff out of my mouth, you know.
I heard Gordon's a bit of a twat.
It could very well be that there is.
He's one of them.
Oh right, okay, yeah.
Although when he does it, it goes squeak. So
fucking hell.
Just gonna go home. I was gonna say it could very well be that there is something to that there's vast conspiracy. Like, Moffat hates that coral TARDIS, but like, is it worth pulling that string, or is it like I don't know. It's not something I've only.
He's
so
literally
many...
rocking back and forth as he says this.
We have only so many minutes in this world, Tom. Some of us less than others. From the way your email's worded, it's very worrying.
Are you okay? Please email back with just a one-sentence reply to tell us that you're not dying.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
But if you are dying, don't email back to tell us you're dying.
Yes, because we don't want that on our conscience.
Yeah, we also don't want to read that out because it'd be a real downer.
In terms of like the 14th Doctor thing, I've heard a lot about Lydia West being cast. That seems to be one of the most popular picks.
Why not?
Yeah, sounds good.
Joe Martin? I mean, I know there's the whole debate of you don't want to give the new showrunner the shackles of preset ideas from the previous team and have to be like, you have to make this work.
I would be miffed if we don't see more Joe Martin, though.
But that's assuming that Russell would look at that and think of it that way.
Yeah.
When he might have gone, do you know what? Actually, I've got a really good idea for this. So, you know, why not?
I hope we see more Joe Martin in Chris Chibnall's era. I don't think that, like, her Doctor as we see her is pre-Hartnell from the TARDIS and the from the direction that the story goes. But I mean, you know, Tom Baker came back, so could happen.
Who knows?
Who else? Tania Miller.
Yeah, that's a good shout.
That's
she would be magical.
My personal
again, Years and Years. Go watch Years and Years.
She's really good in Bly Manor. Bly Manor isn't really good for her. But she's really good in that. No, Bly Manor's great for like a few episodes, and I don't get me started. I'm not gonna. We don't want this podcast to be any longer.
We'll do a Blind Manor episode next time you're here. Okay, this one.
I just realised if Lance from Cucumber was cast as the Doctor at some point, though, that means that he'll have been in Sarah Jane Adventures as the mysterious shopkeeper with the parrot, the captain. He'll have been the Doctor, and he'll also have been that random mysterious cult guy who worships the weeping angels in Class.
Oh yeah. God, remember Class? Right, okay, this one comes in from Dan, and it's titled "Let There Be Toxin."
I don't like Dan.
Shut up, Dan. Nobody likes you. I like you, Dan.
Hello,
Use your
my
agents, if anything.
big Dan fellows. It's been some time since general life stress. Just finished uni, you know how it is.
Oh, congratulations!
True. But I...
Welcome to debt.
Yes. But I, Kneecap Dan, have returned. Obviously this return pales in comparison to the resurrection of Tom Monte, but alas, here I am. I had to come back to give my thoughts
Hang on, did he write that?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yes.
That what a wonderful coincidence.
I
God.
had to come back to give my thoughts on Venom, There Be Carnage. To put it simply, it's cinema. Take that, Scorsese. Film of the year.
I
a
watched it on my
masterpiece.
PSP.
On a UMD in a tent.
As much as my hyperbole could be read as sarcastic, I can assure you that I generally very much loved this film. Yes, it was messy and had flaws. How does a creature allergic to sound go to a rave? But the demented energy and zaniness of the film gave me such joy, and the comedy made me laugh more than a lot of other attempts at humour recently. What if? On a less joyous note, and I don't want to make this email too long, but I've been dying to bring up something from Shang-Chi.
Oh.
The trailer for the film hyped up that this would would feature another child finally confronts their abusive father plot. Spoilers for Shang-Chi
It's
ahead,
fine.
these always get my attention for personal reasons, and the resolution normally annoys me. Just go watch it in 4K. The movie itself seems to lean away from this and make Wenwu more sympathetic, so I knew that it would resolve this plot in the usual way. The abusive parents forgiven by their child after one kind of selfless act and without any more work needed. This plot with this resolution is a pet peeve of mine because it's a terrible message and it comes up everywhere. Another recent example being Ryan and his father in Resolution. The only case it was done well that I've seen was that Harley Quinn's cartoon, spoilers ahead, where Harley realises they haven't changed and walks away after some cathartic cartoon violence.
This is a really great story arc, actually.
What are your thoughts on this trope? Are there any recurring tropes like this that personally annoy you? Keep being delicious, boys. I get what you mean. Not just abusive parents, just like abusers in general. Like, in fiction, like just being forgiven by a selfless act.
Kylo Ren helps fight Palpatine. All is forgiven.
Yeah, like
despite the millions of people he killed.
There
over
could
the
have
last,
been
like, 20 years.
way more interesting stuff you could have done with that character without
It did give us the only good moment in the whole film,
We've
which is
talked
where
about-
he gave a very
That was very good.
shrug.
That was very
That was
very
it.
good.
Turned that into a GIF, and that's
I mean,
$200 million spent. Gave us that GIF.
Yeah.
Somehow the GIF.
Rise of Skywalker was
somehow the GIF is alive.
the GIF is.
Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
Somehow Venom is now in the Spider-Man universe.
Yes. Tropes. I don't know. Yeah. So that
We have a writer with us. Are there any narrative tropes that bug you? Be it sort of character-led ones or story structure ones that people just can't seem to.
I think we
shake
can all
off.
agree that the killing a female character, family member, girlfriend, wife, etc., solely for motivation for a male character can get in the fucking sea.
Yeah, so we've seen it a million times. Please stop now.
Death, yeah.
I don't like the feeling that trope would be completely dead because you want people to feel like they're in peril, but I'm so sick of seeing it.
Especially as like as the impetus, as like the origin event that leads to
as a species, we need to put a bit of variety out there.
Yeah.
Do a bit of other stuff.
It's a matter of execution, that one, I think.
Yeah.
So to speak.
I'm bored of the liar revealed, and the 3-act structure that it takes.
Keep getting caught out.
Red-handed.
Shit, that is a red one!
No,
what does that mean? They don't go into what that means! What's so bad about it being a red one? We don't know. He just says it's a red one and then panics, and then they have a little conversation for which fucking Carnage just politely waits. Yeah, and then they never get into it.
At no point does Eddie even say like, "How did he even get like this?"
Yeah.
Like it's never. Anyway, the lie revealed. So like perfect example, Bug's Life, for example. There's an example of the lie revealed plot. Like Flick is set up to be one thing. He's like, "Yeah, sure." He goes along with it. End of Act 2. It's uncovered. Oh my God, it's crumbled. We believed in you. You're a dick. Hero or lead character buggers off and has a mope. The bad thing happens, and the liar's brought back to help save the day because they want to redeem themselves. It's more that I've seen it in a million films now.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm so bored of it as a plot thread because it's like what'll happen. I'd be surprised if they never came back and everyone dies. That would at least be a subversion of the trope.
Yeah, I mean, like
I mean, it'd be a downer ending.
There's only so many ways that a story can be structured. It's about telling it in an interesting way, isn't it? But, you know, there are certain tropes that are trodden upon more than others.
Blue Skybeam.
Oh my god, yeah. I don't know if that's a trope so much as like a visual...
yeah, it's a vision. It's
crutch.
a visual motif.
A visual crutch of final act superhero movies.
That's a blue Skybeam! Shit, what do we do? We punch CGI things until the blue Skybeam's gone. Oh, okay.
Cool, alright.
Hey, let's do that.
Oh, this one's different. This Skybeam's red.
Not the red Skybeam.
Oh no!
Oh shit!
That's the red one!
Fucking hell. Right, before we round out,
Oh god.
so Billy and Tracy, is there anything you want to bring to the people and let them know about, stuff that they need to be aware of, stuff they need to rustle their jimmies in preparation for?
Sure. I have two main things to promote. The first is I have an Untitled Goose Game board game that I've made out of Lego, and it is on Lego Ideas. If you go on Lego Ideas and type Goose Game board game, it will be in there. Please vote for it. I'm begging you.
I mean, Untitled Goose board game would probably do the trick.
Yeah, just
Don't type game twice. That's a
just
waste of your
goose.
typing hand. Just type in the word goose.
Goose. It should come up at some point.
And if enough people vote for it, what happens?
It might get made into a Lego set.
So do it, you buggers.
I mean, like, the likelihood isn't very high because
People
they
love
had
geese.
57 ideas got through in the last round, and they were only able to pick 2. So even with all the support,
like not an impossible margin. That's doable.
it's sort of doable.
It's better than like
They're
2
doing The
out
Office.
2 out of 7,000.
Yeah.
Which one? Which office?
US.
Good.
What? You offended?
What's the matter? Too challenging for you?
Oh yeah, fuck off, Ricky.
Jesus, by the way, don't believe in him. What's that? Why are you Christian?
Why you want to be a woman? You can't even drive.
The other thing I'm unsure about how to promote because it's still sort of entering the final stages.
Be vague.
Aimless Wanderings. We do Doctor Who fan audios, which are comedy and very funny and silly. And
Can confirm.
all 3 of us have featured in, and we are launching a charity anthology based on the Dynamite Doctor's first wave of adventures. Both of you have seen a version of the final product.
It's a cursed tome of wondrous beauty.
It smells good.
Yeah, no, it's got that very important book smell.
Tastes alright as well.
But all proceeds... Damn it, Matt! But all proceeds will be going to Mermaids, which is a British charity that works with the young trans community. And, you know, we are living on Turf Island at the moment, so any money that we can kind of spare towards them is a money well spent.
A money well
Is
spent.
money well
Just
spent.
the one money.
Mermaids.
So is the implication that we're living on turf?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. So
Gotta
you
take
can
it back.
you can, depending on like when this comes out and if it's actually been formally announced, this could be an exclusive for you guys.
So if you want to support people who like absolutely sort of need to be reminded that, hey, no, honestly, not everyone on this country, this island is a prick and is judging you unnecessarily, and you want to piss off Robert Webb, then this is the, this is the...
I mean, that's my main reason for doing it.
this...
It's hard enough being young.
Yeah,
it fucking is.
Like,
it fucking is.
we've all been teenagers as well, and yeah, no, I wouldn't wish that on anyone. So...
Being a teenager, that's
But
all. Just
being
full
a teenager,
stop.
full stop, and then obviously as well...
Having to contend with other people judging you for, honestly, being you.
Yeah.
Like, it's mad. So
that's kind of what we're kind of geared up for at the moment.
release TBC.
Yeah, I'm in discussions with people at the charity.
Top men.
Top men.
So I mean, the only thing I can say really is, Mermaids do not endorse this project. But they will happily accept any money we raise, so that's the main thing.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's cool. It's cool.
But yeah, that's the main thing. Keep an eye out. We are on Twitter at DWAimless. Give it a follow, and further details should be forthcoming.
Should we leave whatever the last thing said in the podcast is up to Billy? And put him on the spot.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. Okay.
Definitely.
Billy, would you like to leave the viewers with some words of wisdom and kindness to see them through the week? No pressure. They've got to be really good.
Oh no! I've used all of my lines. It's my birthday on Saturday, so that's good. Happy birthday, me!